three, go!
Go! No jumper.
Oh, lower down first. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Go! Hi guys, we're gonna cooking people.
All right. Sweet and sour pork. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tang, and a whole lot of flavor. This is the dish you are going to love. Alongside my teriyaki pork, I am using 1 slab of pork to make 2 different dishes. And look how juicy this teriyaki pork is. Just another dish you are going to love. Let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut half of this, just like that.
It's me.
Yes, baby. And the top part I'm going to be using for my teriyaki pork, and the bottom, my sweet and sour. This is going to be fun. Okay, with this, I'm just going to make little cubes. And this is for my sweet and sour. All right, now just seasoning my pork with some salt and black pepper on both sides. All right, now we got some garlic powder, and onion powder. I'm keeping this very simple. I'm going to have this with my teriyaki sauce. Start off with adding some oil. Now that the pan is nice and hot, I'm gonna get right in there. All right, let's see if it got that dark caramelized color I'm looking for. Yes, perfect. All right, now this is ready to go into my 350-degree oven. All right, now after 20 minutes of cooking in the oven, I went ahead and pulled it out, and I'm just brushing it with a little bit of teriyaki sauce. You can either make your own, like I did right here. If you don't want to make your own, just buy a store-bought teriyaki sauce. All right, now this goes back into my 350-degree oven. But this time when I put it in there, I am just going to cover it with some oil. And then into the oven it goes. Okay, now for my pork, there I'm just gonna add a little bit of soy sauce, just enough to lightly coat all of that pork. All right, and to that I'm going to add 1 egg. All right, just want to kind of mix that in with the egg. I usually use 1 whole egg for a larger amount, a little bit more pork, but you know what, it's okay, it'll work. I'm just gonna go with like 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Season just a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of garlic powder. And now we just mix it all in. Right now, once everything gets nicely coated, we can go ahead and let this sit covered in the fridge for about 30 minutes. All right, now for the sauce, I'm just gonna add in some soy sauce. All right, now that was about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So I'm gonna go with about a half a cup of water and just add a little bit more soy sauce there. That's a little lighter. Then let's go with like about 4 tablespoons of brown sugar, a tablespoon of white wine vinegar. I'm sorry, a tablespoon of vinegar, white distilled vinegar, pinch of salt. Going on in here. Yes, love. Now we're going to be using some tomato sauce. I'm going to go ahead and just pour it in. About a half a cup. All right, now just adding about a teaspoon of black pepper. And guys, if you want this on the spicier side, adding some red Thai chili peppers or even some dried red pepper flakes will definitely do the trick. Now adding 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and this is gonna thicken our sauce. And get that all mixed and dissolved in there. Okay, so here I have some red onions, some bell peppers, some yellow onion, got some pineapples here, and then sweet and sour pork. I actually prefer the canned pineapple over the fresh one, so you know, to each his own. And then we got some scallions here, and got my heat set to medium. And I'm just gonna take my pork, be sure it is fully coated in that batter, and then I'm going to drop a few of them into my flour and drop it in. And you don't want to overfill your pan. We want our pork to be nice and crisp. Be sure it's cooked all the way through.
Because I'm using pork shoulder, just like pork butt, it's very high in collagen. So in order for that connective tissue to break down, you want to be sure it reaches a temperature of like 195. Okay, and my first batch is done, and I'm just going to remove it onto a strainer and move on to the next batch.
All right, now to my pan, I got some oil. I'm going to add in my onions and bell peppers. Yes. Oh, I know, that one's coming on the plane. And I got it at a high heat because I don't want it to get really soft, but I do want it to get a nice char. Some big pieces of garlic. I'm putting that in there because I'm going to remove it as soon as it's time to eat. I'm just going to lightly season my vegetable with some salt, a little bit of black pepper. Now this here is totally optional. I like it. If you don't like it, leave it out. That's fine, but I got some pineapples in here. And I'm going to let it sit on one side because I wanted to develop that nice char on it. Now, go ahead and turn it. Look at how pretty those pineapples are. Go, that is perfect. Now, I'm just going to toss these right on top of my pork. Just like that. Yes, can I help you? Yes, I'm right here, baby. I know. All right, now after giving it one more whisk, put it right in there. Oh. Right, and once it starts to get nice and thick, I'm gonna add mostly the white of my green onion. Turn my heat off. Yes, babe. And look at that sauce, guys. Now we just want to put all that meat in there. Probably going to be sticking a little bit to the paper towel. There. Give it a light toss. Oh my gosh, guys, this smells incredible. Take a look at that, guys. And let's just finish this off with some more green onions. Sweet and sour pork is ready. All right, so my teriyaki glazed pork is done. Look at that. All right, now whether or not you're gonna eat the fat, you can remove it, totally fine. You want to cook it with that fat on, because look at that, guys. Look at the meat. Go look at how juicy the meat is. It's juicy, it's flavorful. No. Be sure you get some of that dripping from the pan, just a little bit. Look how tender that is. And get some of that sauce. Thank you all so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.